Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to Math Antics. In this lesson, we're going to learn about mixed numbers and how they relate to improper fractions. First, we need to make sure that you understand what an improper fraction really is. To do that, let's start with a short number line that counts whole numbers from 0 to 3. And let's subdivide the spaces in between each whole number into 4 equal parts, or fourths. So a block this size represents the amount 1, because it covers the distance from 0 to 1. While a block this size represents the fractional amount 1/4, because it only covers the distance from 0 to the first subdivision that we made, which is 1 out of 4, or 1/4. But suppose we add another fourth to the fourth we already have. That would give us 2/4. And adding another fourth would give us 3/4. And adding another fourth would give us 4/4. What's 4/4? Yep, it's what I like to call a whole fraction, because its value equals 1 whole. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be using the term whole fraction a lot in this video. It's not an official math term, so your teacher might not use it. But just remember that whenever I say whole fraction, I'm talking about any fraction that has the exact same number on the top and on the bottom. 2 over 2, 8 over 8, 100 over 100, those are all what I call whole fractions. Since all whole fractions equal 1, you can replace any whole fraction with 1. And you can replace 1 with any whole fraction. And you can see how that works on our number line. The 4/4 all combine to cover the same distance as 1. The fraction 4 over 4 is equivalent to 1, and vice versa. But now, what if we get a little crazy and add one more fourth? Now we have 5/4, and we've gone past 1 on the number line. 5/4, or 5 over 4, is what we call an improper fraction, because the numerator, the top number, is greater than the denominator, the bottom number. That means its value is greater than 1. In this particular case, how much greater than 1 is it? Well, on the number line, we've gone past 1 by the fractional amount 1/4. So 5/4 turns out to be equivalent to 1 and 1/4. Have a good look at this diagram for a minute, because it shows us something really important about how proper fractions, improper fractions, whole fractions, and mixed numbers all relate to each other. First, on this side of the number line, we have 5/4, which we know is an improper fraction. But notice how we got it. We added a proper fraction to a whole fraction. When we just had 4/4, we had a whole fraction. But when we added one more fourth, it became the improper fraction 5 over 4. So one way to think of an improper fraction is that it's a combination of one or more whole fractions and a proper fraction. That's helpful because we know that all whole fractions can be simplified to the whole number 1. And if we did that, we'd get what's shown on the other side of the number line. We'd get the combination of the whole number 1 and the proper fraction 1/4. In other words, we'd get a mixed number. That's all a mixed number is. It's the sum of a whole number and a proper fraction. It's an alternate way to write an improper fraction where all the whole fractions that are inside the improper fraction have been simplified out into a whole number. To help that sink in, let's look at another improper fraction, 8 over 3, or 8/3. We'll use the same number line that goes from 0 to 3, but this time, let's subdivide each whole number into 3 parts to make counting thirds easier. So this would be 1/3, this is 2/3, and this is 3/3. Oh, there's a whole fraction already. Let's make note of that while we continue adding thirds. Next we have 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. Oh, we just formed another group of 3/3. That would equal a whole fraction also. Let's note that and continue. 7/3 and 8/3. As we noted, 8/3 actually contain 2 whole fractions. Each of those whole fractions simplifies to 1. So that means our mixed number form would have 1 plus 1, or 2, as the whole number part. And then the fraction that's left over after simplifying all the whole fractions is 2/3. So the improper fraction 8/3 is equivalent to the mixed number 2 and 2/3. Pretty cool, huh?